Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be rebuilding the rear caliper on my M3. So essentially all we've got here is the piston is stuck, so every time I release the brake it's still binding. This is leading to a decrease in fuel economy, which, you know, is already bad in the M3. Went from about 16 average to 12 average, so I did notice that. Also, you could hear it binding when you were driving. It was also getting very hot and very stinky and very smoky, so definitely needed doing. I ordered a caliper from Autodoc, an ATE one, but they sent the wrong side. But then every time I looked for a rear right caliper, the bleed nipple was on the wrong side. It really confused me. I don't know why or what is going on there. So obviously what I decided to do was the smart thing and just take the one off that I already had. And I do have a rebuild kit, so I'll show you exactly what comes in that kit now. So here is the caliper. It is a genuine caliper from when the car was new, so I'm not surprised it has seized up now after 16 years. So we get a new piston as part of this rebuild set, which I'll leave a link to in the description. You get the two caps for the sliders, you get a new seal, you get a new bleed nipple cover, you get some new bleed nipples, and you get some grease. I think the kit was £29 or £39 if I remember correctly, something like that. Right, so I set up the caliper on my toolbox on a bit of polystyrene. I mean, if that's not a quality workbench, I don't know what is. So we started off, I just got a pick and started to remove the old rubber gaiter. Now, at the bottom of these gaiters, there's a metal ring, and that's what seats up against the caliper. Now, the metal ring on mine was really corroded, so it was quite difficult to take off. They are clipped on, so I just went ham, absolutely ripped all the rubber there, worked my way around and eventually got that old ring out. As you can see, quite a lot of corrosion inside there. Here you can see I'm still absolutely yanking this rubber gaiter off. I just wanted to get it off at this point. Didn't need to save it because I did have another one, so just ripped it off, and that was what remained. Now, this was the bit I didn't really plan. So obviously the piston was very stuck in the caliper. I was like, let's grab some needle nose pliers and pull that out, but absolutely not. It was extremely stuck in there, so I had to sit there, have a bit of a brainstorm, do a little bit of research, and I found a technique / method that I knew would work. So that is what I then went to do. Here I am, look at me trying with a screwdriver. Like, do you really think tapping that with a hammer and a screwdriver is going to do anything? I'll tell you the answer was absolutely not. The way we're going to get this out, because it is seized solid, is what you do is you put the socket in there, and you're basically going to fill that up with Allen keys and stuff like that until eventually you can't turn this Allen key in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some extension on here, and I'm going to put some lubricant at the bottom of here, and I'm going to turn, and that's going to pull the caliper piston out. Okay, so here we are. I put the Allen keys and sockets and stuff like that inside the piston to lock it all up. Got a massive spanner on the end of that Allen key, used it as a lever bar to basically twist the piston. As you can see, it is turning there. Now, this still wasn't easy, but it was a method to get it done with no special tools and everything like that. Now, it did actually stick right at the top, right towards the end, so I just had to go in and out a little bit. Just try and really free it off, and then eventually it did come out. And then there we go, the piston was out. I was quite relieved because that actually was still quite difficult, but there it is, and there's all the sockets down and keys that I had in there as well. Okay, so now that we've got the piston up, we can see that there is quite a lot of corrosion around this outer edge, and it was super tight in there. So I've taken the seal out already, the old seal. So obviously we'll be putting the new one in, which is over here. Now we're going to clean all of this up, give it a nice wire brush, bit of scotch, clean all of these surfaces up, and then we can begin reassembly. Okay, so I've now cleaned up all of the middle of the inside of the piston. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reapply the seal, and I'm going to put the piston back in. We'll put some grease on the outside of the piston. It does come with grease. Okay, so everything is greased up, and I have just slid the piston back in. As you can see, I can push it by hand. It is no longer seized. Okay, so the piston is back in, the seal is back in. You just had to nurse it around the side. Nothing too complicated there. So now we're just going to repaint the caliper. As you see, all my yellow paint has come off. This is an original BMW caliper, as I said, so it was originally black. That's the only colour you could get them on an E92. Then someone painted them blue, which looked absolutely hideous, and then I painted them yellow, so we're going to give that a touch up and just get a nice result there, a bit of glove look. Okay, so first coat has gone down. we'll let that dry up, stick another coat on, get a nice finish on there. Okay, so I've just done 2 coats of paint. Obviously didn't go too crazy on the inside, but that is what it would look like when you look at it from the outside, so pretty happy with that. The new bleed nipple is in, the new piston is in, the new seal is in, the new rubber gaiter is in. I just need to slide these 2 back in, but obviously you want to wait for the paint to dry before I do that, because I'm definitely going to make a mess. And then all that you need to do once you've completed this is fit it back to the car, bleed it, and then that's it. Everything is done. So thank you for watching.